Part 2, World War II. The knot of World War II is easier to be untied than the one of World War I. The leaders of the opposing forces of World War II were England and Germany. Leaders of England, leader of the state and army in England, 1936 to 1952, was the Hebrew-Saxon King of England, George VI, of the Mongolian Hebrew-Saxon House Wettin Saxe-Coburg, Gotha of Germany. Leaders of Germany, leaders of the German state and army of the Wehrmacht and the Nazi army of the SS were from 1933 to 1945 of Hebrew origin. Oberreichsführer Heinrich Himmler was Oberführer, Waypaver of the kingdom. Führerreichskanzler Adolf Hitler as Führer Chancellor of the kingdom. So Heinrich Himmler was above him. The Hebrew origin of Heinrich Himmler was ensured irrevocably by von Canaris of Greek origin, naval leader and head of the German intelligence service Abwehr. The Hebrew origin of Adolf Hitler as illegitimate son of the Hebrew international banker Rothschild of Frankfurt and foster parents Alois Hitler and Clara Polzel of the village Branau am Inn of the German-Austrian borders is equally ensured by von Canaris of Abwehr. The anthropological features of Hitler, Schüttelgrube and Himmler point to Mongolian Hebrew origins, not any relation with any Aryan origins whatsoever. So get lost, all you Nazis who want to paint white people as supremacists, because white people are not supremacists, you Hebrews are. Now, leaders of Russia. Leader of the state and army of Russia in 1940 was Russian Hebrew Joseph Djugashvili, or Stalin. Joseph Vissarionovich Djugashvili that had in mind to become world king of the Hebrews instead of the arch-rabbis Baruch of USA. But at that time he pretended showing allegiance to them. He expressed his disobedience towards the Baruch of USA in 1946, and real war was about to wage thereafter between Russia and USA. Russian Hebrew Khrushchev restored the Russian Soviet Union under the absolute governance of Baruch of USA. Leaders of USA, President of USA in 1940 was the American Hebrew Franklin Delano Roosevelt, 1933 to 1945, descended of the German Hebrew lineage Rosenwelt. No further commentary is needed. The aforementioned Hebrew-Saxon scum criminals of World War II, provoking and conducting World War II, exterminated 55.5 million men, according to official statistics concerning casualties, and it's quite evident and crystal clear that World War II was set up and programmed from the Hebrew-Saxon court of the Hebrew-Mongolian, was programmed from the supreme Hebrew-Saxon governments of the West, namely from the Masonic Hyper Lodge AOA of London and from the Hebrew-Saxon court of the Hebrew-Mongolian murderers, genociders, Saxe-Coburg, Goths of English kings of London. These Hebrew criminals and their offspring must offer 55 million of their own, namely Hebrew-Saxon and the rest of the Hittite Mongolians, as hostage, the death penalties and lifetime servants for the nations of the white race they genocided in World War II in 1939 and 1945. So World War I, 40 million Europeans and North Americans died. World War II, 55.5 Europeans and North Americans died. For the great onslaught of mass immigration decades later, which is we are witnessing now, the white genocide through because of these Hebrew Mongols. And that is it for part 2 and how World War II began.